morning, everybody. It is September. I should have said that yesterday, but I just had a lot going on yesterday, and I just really couldn't. I had a plan, and I followed it, and then it was done, and then I'm like, okay, that's it. Just kind of what happens when you have a plan, isn't it? You just kind of go through it, and then. See, this is the Fudge. It smells very fudgy. I just remember not enjoying it. I do know that this is old, so we'll probably have a last hurrah with this and then just get rid of the rest because there's a lot left in here. It was definitely not my favorite. Let's do around 20. Let's do the 23 grams for. Here we go. We're going to use the OXO Rapid Brewer today. This machine is just so much fun. We're going to. It's kind of nice because we can do all of this stuff. I'm gonna move this down to a maca. It's like 30. Yeah, this is where I think I had it for all of the other ones. I had it sitting at a 30, so that it's not espresso fine. They kind of want it in the middle. They don't want it so fine that it's espresso, but they don't want it coarse. So I think the maca will be a good point for that. I don't need to spritz the beans because they are coated. I have very little retention with these beans. So, because of the coating they have on them, there's very little static, which is actually really kind of cool. All right, so let's do what I watched Lance do. As in, we put ourselves. I mean, he smushes it down, but I really don't think that's necessary because we're gonna put this in here like this, get that down on there like that, and then we're gonna use the tamper to tamp it down, which I think is good enough. What I am gonna do though is we're gonna do two of these. I'm gonna do one for myself, and then I'm going to actually go down to an espresso. It's a nice pack. And because see, that's pretty fine, you know. Maca is pretty fine. It's not all the way down to espresso. When we get to espresso, I'll kind of show that off. So we do kind of wet the paper down. It also gives it a little press. I guess we can give it a little press and see. There we go. Not too bad. All right, then we attach the bottom. It's kind of cool because this cup actually tapers a little bit. So it does fit. I'd just be afraid, yeah, see, it fits, but what it needs is, it needs one of those little bottoms that it can sit on because this is recessed right here. So you can actually get an accessory of some kind, maybe 3D print something that would allow it to fit on the lip and protrude down a little bit further so that you get some kind of a hold. So that would be an interesting 3D printing dealy-do. As it is, I mean, it's made to fit into this catch cup right here, so we'll zero that out. Our water is going. Here's our little pump. So fun. So fun. And water is halfway there. Lemon and a pear. Awesome. I mean, it's Wednesday. There's no mowers outside because Monday was a holiday. So they don't mow on holiday weeks here. I don't know how it is around the other places, but here they don't mow on holiday weeks. And I think that's if the holiday's before or after our mowing day. So silence this morning was golden. It was great. So can't complain about that. Although I do know there, and I've talked about this before, there are neighbors that have their electric push mowers who apparently don't live by the rules, especially the lady over here who tried to run for the board of the HOA, and one of the founding members of the HOA board asked her about, so you'll follow the rules and abide by the rules and enforce the rules. And she's like, well, yes, of course I will. And then he brought up the fact that she was told several times to take down her political sign 2 years ago. No, 4 years ago. Yeah, it was the 4 year ago one. And she just moved it around and then finally ended up putting it in her window facing out, which again is a policy. And I see a lot of people complain about HOAs, and rightfully so. I mean, if they're not taking care of your yard, you're taking care of your yard, and their standards for that sometimes are incredibly stupid. I'm not allowed to paint my fence pink. Well, I'm not exactly sure why you want to paint your fence pink to start with, unless you're just being a dick. So, I mean, good on you, I suppose, but at the same time, why? You know, I mean, I think it just feels like that's the only reason. The only reason you would do anything out of the ordinary is just to be a prick, you know, like that. I mean, it's just, at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter. Here, because it's a condo community, our lawns are mowed for us, our driveways and sidewalks are brushed off of snow or plowed of snow for us, you know. The only thing we have to worry about is our structure, is the house itself, because we own the house itself. So the community as a whole owns the grounds. So it's a little bit different. So, you know, the idea that political signs, I mean, that's how I feel. I mean, political signs are trash to be thrown away. To be very clear, in this community, we are well aware of who you are or are not voting for at any given time. Putting out a sign is just being an asshole. I mean, that's it. If you want people to know your political affiliation, you'll tell them. Nobody needs to see it. It makes everything look trashy. It just does if you put those political signs out in a community like this. So nobody cares. And we don't want the trashing up the yards, you know? I mean, and that's the way it should be. For this community and for this community standards. And I know I'm a white guy, you know, talking about community standards. And I mean, it's not a gated community, but the folks sure do know how to wield a pair of binoculars and their neighborhood app. So I don't know. I can see how in a neighborhood, HOAs are horrible, intolerable blights on the countryside. I get it. Because you get the wrong person on one of those and, you know, you don't know what's going to happen. Plus, you know, I mean, they do think they're their own little Gestapo at times. And I've seen that. I've seen that on the social medias and stuff like that. So, I mean, I've seen people post how terrible folks are, you know, and I understand. And, you know, those people should be rallied against. But at the same time, small communities like this that take care of amenities, you know, if a fence gets broken, that's the community fixing it, you know. If a sidewalk has a giant crack in it and is a bad thing, it's the community's fund that pays for that. So, you know, it's a community effort here. Dirtying things up with political signs is horrible. I don't care what side you're on. I don't want to see a political sign. I just don't. It's something no one cares about. I don't care who you're voting for. Who you're voting for is your own problem. You know, and I'm not going to change your mind because you put a political sign out and it's against the policy of the community to put a political sign out, and you're well aware that you're putting a political sign out is against the rules of the community. So I know where you stand, you know. I know where you stand politically and how much you do not care. So, I mean, yeah, sorry. That's a weird rant. But anyway, but yeah, the same woman that did that, she's out here push mowing her yard every like 5 or 6 days with an electric push mower and weed whacker. Her and her husband are. And it's like, I mean, if the Council of Elders, if the HOA board's not going to do anything about it, then I don't really give a shit. The problem is when people like that start trying to implement policy, because the next thing you know, they'll be working towards everybody mowing their own yards, and I'm not mowing my own yard. That's absolutely fucking ridiculous. All right, so we're starting to drip, so we've got some saturation going. Let's do a pump or two. There we go. Hold it for a minute. This does smell nice. And let it up. And then give it a couple more. 4, 5. It's such a fun device. I don't think I've made a bad cup of coffee in it. Even that orange, that chocolate orange that I made, tasted nice. Nicer. I won't get it again. I should probably just throw it away because it's just going to go to waste. And honestly, I don't know anyone that would enjoy the flavor. So there we go. We had enough just to get to the little hiss part. Perfect. Getting better. I'm getting better. Let's see how we are. Well, let's see how much we got. Well, shit. Oh yeah, we can do it this way. So 160 milliliters or grams of water in, and it smells really good. Around 134, 135-ish grams or milliliters of coffee water out. So we lost 20 grams of water. My math, 25 grams, because if it were 30 grams of water, if it were 130 milliliters of water, we would have lost 30. So it's 134, so we lost 25. So it's fudgier. I don't like dark chocolate. This is fudge, so it's got a little bit of a dark chocolatey kind of taste to it, which honestly, it's not bad. There seems to be like almost like a butterscotch. Let's go take it up to 230 because we'll just add 100 milliliters of water, 100 grams of water. Give it a mix here. It's almost butterscotchy in its flavor. Now, it might be because it's going off. It's always possible. But no, that's not bad. That's not bad. It's not my favorite Bones coffee. As a matter of fact, I'd probably put it at like my least favorite, alongside the chocolate orange at the moment. Probably put that near the bottom. With the, I think that tiramisu that they did for Star Wars was probably my absolute least favorite I've ever tasted. They had a Wookiee cookie that tasted a lot better. That was really nice. That tiramisu, Twin Sun tiramisu, was not my jam. It did not spark joy. So let's take this apart. Now there is a lot of heat here right now. It is pretty hot, but at the same time, I can still grab a hold of it and it's not that bad. So that's kind of cool. As in, it's not hot. Puck comes right out. Look at that. Sandwiched puck comes right out. Film at 11. Now what I want to do, I want to see how it changes by taking it all the way down to say it's like a 17, where I like to normally put them anyway. I think I've had a couple of good espressos at a 17. My hands are wet. Grabbing a metal ring, it's not ideal. So let's do the same thing. And again, this is just in the spirit of getting rid of the coffee, because I'm not gonna, if I can help it. I forget. I think I was able to select what came in the Christmas pack, so I think I'll try to select something different this year. There we go. Yeah, and that basically finishes it off. So, all right, so we're down to espresso. All right. The water should still be fairly hot, but we'll get it back up there just in case. There should be enough left in there to do what we need to do. All right, base. Paper. A paper, please. One ping only, please. Okay, so you can kind of see how much more powdery that is. I mean, look at that. So that's espresso fine. That's a 17. And it's so fine, it's popping up over the disc here. Well, I should have pressed it down first. Okay. That's why we press. Much easier to press down. Look how thin that got. That's going to be very compressed, and it's probably going to take a heck of a lot longer to get through, which will be a lot of fun to watch. We probably won't see a lot of bleed through. Well, when the puck saturates, I guess it will. All right. Now we're back. So tomorrow I've got a doctor's appointment, but I can do a coffee in the morning, so that shouldn't be a problem. So tomorrow we'll take one of the volcanic coffees up there, and we will do it at a 17, and then we'll use the Lance's method that he went through in order to try to pump ourselves out some espresso at the espresso setting. There must be a reason why he decided to go down to not quite an espresso level. I assume it has a lot to do with the pressure needed to pass everything through. So, but we'll see how that goes. Always fun to experiment and play around. Cup on. Okay. We'll enjoy this while we're waiting. So yeah, I've got a doctor's appointment tomorrow. I'm going to the urologist for an update on, well, I got tested, my testosterone, with the medication that I'm on. It has evened itself out. The problem being, I'm going to have to be on this medication probably for a very long time. When I stop taking it for longer than 2 days, the testosterone level drops dramatically, back below what people would consider normal. So in order to, keep going, I'm going to have to continue to take it. Now, it's not bad. It's not oral or anything like that. It's a gel that you put on your shoulders. So it's not too intrusive. It absorbs fairly quickly, and gets you back up to a solid level. So Several tests came back. They took out 3 tubes of blood, which was, I'm like, you're just testing one thing. No, they tested a couple of things. There's also a polyp count for cancer, and the below normal, or the, I don't know how to say it, there's a level that becomes concerning, and I am well below that level. So that's good news. I'm glad to hear that. He said, you should lose some weight, which I'm like, well, yeah, I guess. Apparently, it can turn into estrogen, the testosterone, and fat deposits. So the best way to counteract that is to lose weight. So I'm working towards that as well by going to the gym. The gym finally opened back up. I don't know if I'm going to be able to go. All right, let's start this going. I don't know if I should go this week or not. Things are a little weird. With the lunch yesterday, taking the majority of the day out, and then today I could go, but then tomorrow is the doctor's appointment, so that will be 5. Right. And that will be a, I mean, that'll be what, like, I don't know. It'll take longer to get there than I think the appointment will last, which is kind of a pain in the ass, but you know, what are you gonna do? It's just, I mean, because all the tests are done, basically he's just going to be answering questions. I do have a concern or two that I'm going to bring up to him, but, you know, like the fact that, hey, do you think I'm going to be on this for the rest of my existence, you know? And even though the polyp level is well below anything to worry about, you know, it did go up since the last time I was seen. So is that a concern, or is that a normal thing? So it just went up like what? I don't know, what, like 0.3 points? 4, like 4, a solid 4 is like the start of troubling, I guess. And I was below at like a 0.7. So, you know, probably good at 50 years old. So we're not getting foam. I mean, we're still getting coffee out, actually. I mean, that might just be the finer. Yeah, I mean, we're still getting, well, that water looks clear. Okay, well, now we got some hiss. All right, there we go. So, but it smells like peanutty. It kind of smells peanutty. Interesting. Interesting. So I put in 100. Yeah, it smells very peanutty. That's actually fascinating. All right, let's put you up here. 0 you out. Now this is super hot. Super hot. All right, so wow. So we got 140 milliliters out of that. So it went up 5 milliliters or 5 grams using the more espresso fine grounds, which is very interesting. It's a lot darker. It's interesting. I mean, I'm still getting chocolate and fudge. It actually tastes a lot better, strangely enough. And I'm also getting this weird nutty taste to it. It's not bad. I actually like it better than this. It's very interesting. It actually tastes a lot better. It actually kind of tastes more like a Reese's peanut butter cup without the sugar, you know, without the extreme sweet. There's sweet there, but it's not like extreme sweet, but it's very Reese's peanut butter with the nuttiness and the fudge that I'm getting. Yeah, I mean, that's fine. We'll add a little water to that. But it's very interesting. We got more out with espresso fine than we did with the maca. That's very interesting. Is it just less? I mean, bigger coffee pieces, can that hold more and absorb more and therefore not transfer as much as espresso? Because espresso is ground down to a very small fine. So it obviously can't hold as much water. So more passes through. Is that how it works? Probably. Yeah, it's very peanutty, which is really weird because it's just fudge. It's just fudge. It might be the age. Could be a lot of things. Anyway, thank you for watching today. I really appreciate it. We'll be back tomorrow. There will be one tomorrow. Money, 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 money. I need to go buy a lottery ticket. We will be back tomorrow. My appointment's not until 2, so you know I'll have a coffee. I'll upload it. There aren't any tests to be run, so I feel like I can have a coffee and not have it worry about whatever odd test they may run, it affecting that somehow. So I hope you have a great day. We will talk to you tomorrow. Bye.